All right, here we go. And we are live. Hey, guys, welcome to Rankable episode 30. I'm your host, as always, Jared Thomas, Senior Account Executive at iPullRank. Before we begin, though, I just want to give a huge shout out to everybody in Texas, man. I've seen the videos, man. I'm seeing the TikToks, the IG videos, man. It's terrible what's going on, man. No heat, no water. I just want to let you guys know that, our hearts and prayers are out with you guys, man. Much love to family and friends and everybody out there, man. Hope everything gets better, man. But today we have a special guest, man. This is my brother right here, man. We've been connected on LinkedIn for quite some time, man. We always support each other's content. He's a solid, good brother, man. He makes a lot of great content, especially video content. And what our goal is today is to teach you guys what is good content for social media. How should you approach it? And really, how do you level up your profile? But my brother here is Alex Miner. He's a video strategist and creative director at IM Media. And how are you, my brother? It's great to have you.
I'm doing good, man. It's really good just to finally have this happen. We've been going back and forth like, yeah, man, want to get on the podcast. Yeah, but what we going to do? So it's finally good to have it happen, man.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Thanks for taking time out today, man. It means a lot to me, brother. I'm a big supporter of your stuff, man. Love to hear your insights. And, we only got 30 minutes. I would love to jump straight into it, man. So I know you've been doing video. You're most focused, right? You're most focused on video content, right? So you do a lot of that, to promote your business and stuff like that. But just tell me about your journey, man. Like, how did you get, where did your love for video come from?
Well, I mean, like many of us, I'm a retired rapper.
Yep.
So I've been a lifelong creative. That led me to being in the corporate events industry, which, as you know, got majorly hit by COVID.
Yep.
And that's where most of my money was coming from for like the last 8, 9, probably almost 10 years at this point. But it was doing corporate audio visual where I started doing camera work. Camera work led me to eventually buy, and it's boring. It's super boring in that space, but it led me to buy my own equipment eventually, and that sparked a love for filmmaking. And I dove deep on that, YouTube University, all of that. And along the line, video as a tool for marketing somehow came on my radar. And that was like, oh, well, a lot of doing this, it's really just documenting things. And documentaries were kind of where I felt like filmmaking was leading me. And so it was like, let me lean into this because I still get to talk to people, learn their stories, help them tell their stories. And there's opportunities to be creative. It's not creative stuff all the time, but there's still opportunities for that.
No, absolutely, man. I think you hit the nail on the head, man. But and then I'm curious, because me and you connected on LinkedIn, and that's how I've found a lot of your video content, man. I really started to support you. So, why are you on other platforms? And what was the moment that you was like, hey, I'm taking LinkedIn serious, and why?
I've been on YouTube for about 3-4 years at this point. Might be longer, but I can't remember. But YouTube is kind of my hobby. Over there, I'm mostly doing product reviews because I'm a gear slut. So I'm always nerding out over the latest tech or lenses or cameras or whatever. I got a ton of stuff, a ton of reviews that I'm way behind on. So on YouTube as a hobby, but learning a lot about the platform, which I could hopefully use to help clients in the future. But LinkedIn came on my radar a couple years ago when I kind of been dabbling and wasn't, quite sure how far I wanted to go in on that. But I met this lady named Lorena Acosta.
Shout out to Lorena.
Yeah, if you know who she is, she's a big deal on LinkedIn. At this point, I want to say she's got 2-3 million followers, maybe more. When I met her, she had several 100,000, probably like 300,000 or 400,000. But she threw a LinkedIn local event right when I had been hearing about LinkedIn local and wanted to throw in an event. So I was like, oh, well, this is perfect. Like, we in the same city, you throwing a LinkedIn local event. Well, how can I be down? Because she was already in the process. When I was just trying to get started. Yeah. And through meeting her and learning about her journey on LinkedIn, all the different people that she brought together for that event, because she had, it was in Orlando, but she had people fly down from Canada, from across the country, who came to our LinkedIn local event.
That's crazy.
And just seeing the power of that, me and my team came out, we captured the whole thing. I did a recap video on it. I gave all the speakers copies of their footage from their talks. Yeah. And after that, me and Lorena started working together. I started producing her podcast, and it was through her that really opened my eyes to like the power of LinkedIn. Like seeing like just what she was able to bring together, that was amazing. Like and it was all from friendships and stuff that had come to her through LinkedIn, and like it just blew my mind. And so that's when I was like, all right, I'm taking this serious. This is a channel that I need to explore. I know a lot of people aren't doing this, and let's see what we can make happen. And just from doing that event, and working with her on that event, one of my longest running clients came from doing that. So.
Yeah, I think that's huge, man. And shout out to Lorena, because I've been following her for quite some time too, man. I think the biggest thing that like when it comes to LinkedIn, man, a lot of people think about they like the Vanity metric of followers, like to have the several 100,000 is cool. But what makes Lorena special, she doesn't have followers, she has a following. She has people that are going to come to her and, you know, value her information. There's no way in heck that you're going to be flying from Canada, California, anywhere, unless you really see the value in that opportunity. So somebody that really rocks with you. So that's more valuable than just having somebody, you know, just follow you and, you know, maybe you support or something like that. But like that type of love is huge. And then I'm really big on YouTube, man. I would love to hear your story. Like how does the YouTube opportunity kind of differ from LinkedIn? Because, you know, LinkedIn, the main thing for us is like the algorithm. It pushes you out. You're going to get way more visibility. But YouTube, I feel like it's the long game, man. So like
it is. And that's something that a lot of businesses don't understand. Because just to be point blank, most businesses suck at YouTube.
Absolutely.
They do. And it's because they don't take time to understand the platform. That's the thing about me is like, if I'm going to be on a platform, I want to understand it. I want to learn. I want to level up. And so for me, YouTube was an experiment and is an ongoing experiment where I really try to like, I'm not a YouTuber. I don't ever expect to be making a living. I mean, I am a YouTuber, but I don't expect to be making a living off of YouTube. But if I want to see any level of success on YouTube, I have to understand the YouTube culture. I have to understand how the platform works. I have to understand why the YouTubers who are successful and are bigger are doing certain things so that I can maneuver accordingly and leverage that knowledge and those tactics and intelligently decide what I want to do different and what I want to do the same and what opportunities there are to take advantage of. So for businesses, one of the main mistakes is that they don't realize that YouTube is a search engine. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, right behind Google. And the real value to businesses is that most businesses aren't leveraging YouTube. Number two, most of the businesses that are leveraging YouTube are doing it terribly. And number three, it's way easier to rank video content on Google than it is web pages.
Yes.
So like you're the SEO guy, right? So you know this. Like
absolutely. You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, so there's a massive opportunity. If you want increased SEO for your websites and for your content, you should be producing videos, putting them on YouTube, backlinking them to your site, and using and really looking to dominate the keywords in your space. Like there's so many opportunities. Like I'm in BNI, Business Network International, right? And so I was having a conversation with one of the members of my chapter. She's a lady who does home staging for real estate sales. And just in the course of that conversation, talking about what things she might be able to do to increase her marketing or to start leveling up in our area, I did a quick look on YouTube. Hardly any home stagers in our area are on YouTube. There was only one that was ranking on YouTube for video in any sort of capacity that came up on the Google searches, because most of I don't know where most of these people was hosting their content, but it wasn't on YouTube. And for the keywords that she would want to be found for, like, nobody was doing nothing. I'm like, yo, if you get on here, you make some quality videos, do a little bit of ad spend, maybe just get somebody from Fiverr to do all the keyword research, the optimization on your videos, the SEO and stuff. Like, you could dominate for search on YouTube when it comes to home staging in the Orlando area. Like, it's wide open.
Yeah. And that's great, but that's actually a great point, right? Like most people see the opportunity, but it's like you said, it's the long game, right? They're really sitting there putting the time. They don't really see what's going to be the value. We think short term, right? But what are some things that you can see brands doing to increase their YouTube visibility? Like, how should they approach it? Because like most of the times you see it just like, hey, look at my product tutorial. This is what I do, and it's like it doesn't really speak to you as a customer.
Well,
It's very
there's good reasons to do those product tutorials and things like that, but also, you know, educate the customer on different things, different aspects about, you know, what surrounds your service, not just the service itself, not just the product itself, but increase their knowledge of how to leverage the product, or, you know, different ways that the product can be incorporated into their life or their workflow, or the difference the product can make in whatever it is that your customers are involved in. Like, you got to give people more context. And that's part of the opportunity on YouTube and even LinkedIn, is that you have the ability to put out this content that's going to provide more context. And once people have a better understanding of why they should be using the products, what the benefit is, and how it can make a difference, they're more prone to buy. And plus, if you're doing that consistently, staying in front of their face, you know, everybody wants to stay top of mind, and you're more likely to be the chosen, you know, provider when the time comes for them to pull the trigger. You know, it's really about visibility and attention, man. Like I want to be in front of your face when you're not searching for me, so that when you are searching for me, it's an easy choice.
That's it. I think you name some really good tips, man. Like, first of all, you got to know your platform. Right. I think that's the main, whatever you're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever platform of your choice, know how to, you know what the platform is, know how the algorithm works, know how the community is, know your audience, know what people want from you, or what they want from similar people similar to yourself. Right. Like, so make sure you understand that and really take the opportunity, because what's selling for you when you're not selling? And that's going to be your content. Your content is going to be there, right? Like I always say it all the time. Like, it's like driving across the highway. You're going to see my billboard. You're going to see my billboard. One day you're going to look up and say, damn, man, maybe I should try this little thing, or such. Maybe I should try this, brother. This brother is everywhere. And that's really what you want, to stay top of mind, but also with valuable content. And I think another good point, like, I think people get caught up in value. I think value is subjective to the reader. And I would love to talk to you about that. Like, so how do you figure out, or how do you come up with your content creation process? Like, what's going to be valuable for your users?
It's really paying attention. It's really paying attention. It's being a good listener. Yeah. So one thing that I think people don't do enough is, especially if they're coming into a space and they're new to the space, they don't take the time to just observe. So like if you're getting on LinkedIn and you're new to LinkedIn, observe. Don't think that you got to start producing content right away and trying to make a name for yourself through that. Spend some time just learning the culture, like see what people are doing on the platform. You know, go read articles about how best to conduct yourself on LinkedIn, about what types of social selling strategies work and don't work. Because a lot of people come in and they just sell. It's basically the digital equivalent of cold calling, right? Exactly. Do you know how many times people have showed up in my DMs trying to sell me video?
Yeah, I can imagine.
Like, it's like, bro,
did you look at my profile? Did you do anything?
Look at my no, besides even looking at my profile, did you look at my headline? The one that follows me around LinkedIn. It says video producer for coaches and executives. Why are you going to sell me video? I make video for a living.
It's just laziness on the seller side. But I think that's, I don't know, man. It's hard to say, because a lot of people just go in there. Like you said, nobody wants to sell. The way the culture works on LinkedIn is all about relationships. Nobody cares about what you're selling, right? You have to be a part of the community. And how you get a part of the community is you engage with other people, you support other people, and in turn, they support yours. You kind of like have a pod without officially having a pod. You know what I mean?
And I mean, pods, for a lot of people, pods are a sore subject.
It is. I hate them. I don't think that's needed.
And so I'm going to confess this for the first time ever. Like,
don't tell me you're in a pod. Don't tell me.
I was. And the thing was, it just became. And it's not like there weren't good people in it. Like the culture of the pod that I was in was a little bit different. It really was a reciprocal thing, and it wasn't just about liking and being like, hey, good post. Like people actually did have conversations and form relationships out of that. But it's just too stressful.
Yeah. And for those listening to, if you don't know what a pod is, essentially that's basically like, say me and Alex, we like each other's content on LinkedIn. We have a group of people, let's say 20, 30, 40, 50 people, right? We start a group chat, we start a Slack. And then when somebody posts, you put it in the chat and then everybody goes to like the post, right? And when they like the post, what it does is boost your visibility because it's like the golden hour rule with LinkedIn. So if the more engagement you get in that first hour, the algorithm pushes your content to more users. So that's what the benefit is, right? The problem is like, it's for people like myself who do it organically, it can psychologically mess you up because you're like, damn, I'm trying all hard for this content. I might get 15 likes. Then I see this brother who literally put up nothing, get 230, 40 likes. Right? And you're like, damn, why is that? And most of the time they're in pods, right? Mm-hmm. So there is benefit to it. You get more exposure. But to be honest with the way we do it organically, like I know people like me for me. I know it's no fluff there.
Exactly. And that's really what never sat right with me is that it was so hard for me to, unless like I had a post that really blew up, that I knew went way beyond the reach of the pod. It was like I couldn't really tell what was working. I didn't really know what was really connecting and was really beneficial. Like most of my content, I mean, you've seen it. The majority of it is, advice, tips, tricks about video, different ways to think about strategy or about content, and so like general helpful stuff, because that's what I feel like I'm good at. I'm good at nerding out about video and giving people a different lens to view it through, pun intended. And so that's where most of my content comes from. But it's like sometimes it was just so hard to know what was working and what was not. And since I just decided to step back from that and just going on my own and just invest more time into the platform and into the people, it's easier for me to know like when a piece of content really bombs and when a piece of content really works. And that's going to be more valuable to me in the long run.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And so what are your thoughts on vanity metrics, right? Like, so how I get this question a lot, like, yo, Jared, how much view or how much attention should I pay to the likes, the comments and shares and things like that? So what are your thoughts?
Okay. So this is the way I look at it. I don't think there are vanity metrics, right? Okay. Like the only time that I think you can really call them vanity metrics is when there's no point to you growing the numbers, right? Okay. But for most of us, there's some sort of goal behind it, right? And metrics are just data points. You know this. Yeah. And what do we use data for? To make better decisions. Yeah. So if you're putting out types of posts, another thing is like, you have to make those metrics contextual to the situation. Yeah. So if I'm getting tons of likes and comments on certain content, but that's not the content that's going to propel my business forward, maybe it doesn't matter, but it does give me a data set to know, because maybe I could take that content that is not important to the business and use it to inform decisions I make in producing content that is relevant to the business.
That makes sense.
But then also that same content that is not relevant to the business, maybe that's just about building brand. I believe very heavily, and this is also partially Lorena's fault, in personal brand. And if you build your personal brand and people value you for you, it will always push your business forward. Because people, eventually somebody's going to need what you got. And if they know that you're a good person and that they'd probably rather get it from you if they know you and they value you as a person.
That's a great point. That's a great point, man.
Like I got a client in the last month from being on Clubhouse. And it wasn't, I didn't go on Clubhouse specifically. Like I got on Clubhouse because of FOMO. I'll be honest. Like I got on Clubhouse because of FOMO. Like my wife came to me back in December and was like, "You should be on this. You'd be perfect for this." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Haven't you heard of this app?" No, like because I don't be trying to keep up with everything new.
You can't, man. It's hard.
And like she showed me, and it was like, yeah, I think I need to be on here, but I have an Android phone. And so she even gave me one of her old iPhones, but there was issues with it and I didn't end up getting on there. And finally I was like, all right, my phone kind of busted. I need a new one anyway. Let me just get this iPhone 12.
Switch over.
And,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I actually found out I'm a big like Joe Budden podcast fan. So I listen to Joe, but he's like the chatty house. I'm like, what is this? I'm thinking a Soho house. I'm thinking this exclusive club or something. I'm like, I ain't get no invitation. I'm not lit. And then when I started to hear about it more, especially when it crossed over to LinkedIn, I feel like just out of nowhere, like 1 week, everybody just started Clubhouse, right? But and then when I jumped on and I joined a couple of rooms, I think it's a really good opportunity. Like, what do you think is the long-term opportunity for it? Because I personally think it's not who you speak to or it's really who you get in the room.
Yeah,
who you get in the room. That's the end goal. Like me and you do a Clubhouse right now, and it's me, you, my cousin, auntie, a couple of your friends and all that. Like, what's the value of that? But like you said earlier, I'll let you share the story. You know what I mean? But you had somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I've connected with a bunch of people that otherwise never would have had a conversation with, because it's crazy. And like, so for me, obviously, we're broadcasting this on LinkedIn, right? So so LinkedIn is one of our platforms of choice. There's a ton of people on Clubhouse talking about LinkedIn every day. Every day. Like there's at least 3-4 rooms that I could go into consistently every day about LinkedIn. I help moderate one. So I get asked to co-moderate another one sometimes. And then there's just other rooms that I just pop in just to give my 2 cents. Yeah. And it's an unbelievable opportunity because there's all these people really trying to share with each other and help each other level up. Because so many people, especially in the last year since the pandemic, have been flocking to LinkedIn, whether it's to try to find a new job because they lost their job, whether it's to help promote a new business because their side hustle now has to become their main thing, or even just because their main job is maybe not desirable or not giving them enough money and they figure they need to start a side hustle. LinkedIn is a tool and an opportunity that a lot of people are seeing, but they don't know how to navigate the waters. Yeah. And now that people are getting on Clubhouse and there's a lot of this, there's so many of these groups where people are just giving away the knowledge. I'm talking about LinkedIn coaches and experts who at minimum you're paying $300, $400 to have a conversation with. They're on here every day giving away game.
Yeah. Matter of fact, let me ask you that, man. What makes somebody a LinkedIn expert? That's like a real. I'm curious. Like, what makes you a LinkedIn expert where you could charge $300-$400? Like, did you need a certain amount of revenue from LinkedIn? Like, what really makes you an expert?
Really, it's your experience with the platform. Because, like, okay, so some of the people that I've made friends with now, like, there's one lady. Her name's Leah. She's in the UK. She's really cool.
Oh yeah, Leah Turner.
Is that her last name?
No, but she got the tattoos.
Yeah. Yeah, so she went from having like 400 connections on LinkedIn to having like 70,000 or 70,000 followers in like, I don't know, was it like 4 to 6 months or something, less than a year. Yeah. But she did it through very specific, intentional processes, which she can teach and which she can adapt to almost anybody's situation or mission. So that's what she does. Most of her coaching up until this point has been one-on-one coaching where she sits you down, walks through your situation with you, and gives you specific strategies tailored to your situation to help you level up on LinkedIn. And she's been getting great feedback. She's been getting lots of love, and she's become that lady, you know?
Yeah, and I definitely know Leah. Yeah, her branding is crazy. When I first, she's like Madison. Madison actually had her on before. I know Madison Butler.
Oh yeah.
So she's with the blue hair. I'm like, your brand. As soon as I see you, you just pop out. Same thing with Leah. You see her, she's tattoo cover. You're like, oh, this is different. You know what I mean? And then you hear her speak.
They stand out on the platform.
So that's something they should definitely do, man. Like, and what is good content for social media? Because I actually have a lot of my friends ask me, Jay, you keep talking this LinkedIn stuff. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram and all this stuff. Like, what is good content? They're not performing well. So what some things that they should be doing or looking for to improve their content?
Like I said, listening. You got to listen to the people on the platform to know what they want. But then also you need to be very intentional in what your mission is in being on a platform.
Yeah.
Because if my goal is to connect with coaches and subject matter experts, my strategies and my content are going to be very different than somebody who's looking to sell socks.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to be there's no one size fits all approach. It has to be tailored for your situation and for your goals. So for me, in general, I just want people to produce more video.
That's it.
You know, whether it's with me or without me. But then I'm looking to connect with and looking to serve coaches, subject matter experts, entrepreneurs who know that video is a valuable resource for their business, for their personal brand, but they ain't got the time.
Yeah.
Like they don't want to let, like, there's tons of people, and see, that's kind of what makes me a little bit different. There's tons of people on LinkedIn who are trying to teach you how to do it yourself. They don't want to do the thing. They're going to teach you how to do the thing, and they're going to take your money, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But after you finish their course, after you finish their coaching program, how many people are going to stick with it long term? I mean, maybe if they get results, they'll stick with it. But eventually, even if it does boost their business, eventually, if it works, it's going to boost their business to the point where they ain't got time to do it no more because they're so busy.
That's it. There's actually a great thing, too. I don't know if you heard this, but Jake Paul was on I Am Athlete podcast, and he was on YouTube like yourself. He said in order to get to where he is right now, he posted for 825 days consistently. He said it would be birthday, funeral, it could be snowing, rain, whatever it is. He made sure he posted. To look at him now, and now what? He's almost about to fight Conor McGregor. We're talking 30, 40 million. And it's because he built up that following of every day. And it's like, as far as like what's good for social media, I think regardless of what you're selling, people want to know the you. I don't think there is any. I don't even think there's bad content for social media. You wake up, you have an idea. I don't care. You brushing your teeth. I'm filming. Hey guys, I'm having a positive day. I want you guys to do this to the third. Off to it. Hey, lunch meeting. Hey, just had a great meeting with such and such. We talked about X, Y, Z. Send it out. Hey, I'm home now, relaxing with the kids. Say what's up to the kids. Hey, what's it? Hey, you know what I mean? All that good content.
And that's another point. I think vlog style content is severely underutilized on LinkedIn. I've seen a couple people do it really well, but it's not something they do all the time. And I don't think it's something that you should do all the time. I think it's something that should be sprinkled in. It's one of those personal branding opportunities. Like you bring people into the world, show them the behind the scenes, give them a chance to learn who you are. And some people are doing that with stories right now, LinkedIn stories. So if you're not comfortable producing, more polished video or doing a bigger thing, maybe you start leaning into LinkedIn stories and just bringing people behind the curtain, sharing some of your thoughts, some of your day-to-day business experiences in 20-second chunks. And I
totally agree. I think for me, man, I think my best content has always been stories, and it's always been like the stuff that I feel like I shouldn't post. If I'm sitting there about to press the send and I'm questioning it, that's the stuff that's gonna fly. You know what I mean? I remember one time I posted like it was during the height of COVID. I was just walking to the store with my kid, man, and we go to the store. We come out the store. The coroners are taking 2 bodies out of a building, literally right across the street. Jeez. It was at the height, so I'm talking about I'm nervous as hell. They got the full body suits, and I just took a picture, put it on LinkedIn, right? Didn't think at first. I'm like, I don't know if I should do it. I had the VP of LinkedIn hit me up. Was like, this is the stories we need to hear. This is the type of stuff I want to thank you for sharing with our network. And I'm like, wow. Like, it's that type of stuff. So it's no bad content, man. Just tell your story, man. Like, tell what's happening in your scenario, situation. If you're having a bad, messed up situation, I had somebody no-show me on a call at 8 o'clock at night, put it out, it got 150 likes. I'm like, God damn it. 150 likes because somebody no-showed me. Everybody's like, yeah, tell her. And I'm like,
it's real, but it's relatable.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Put out content that your people can relate to, especially on LinkedIn. Like some people are on LinkedIn for the shared experience. They want to know that there's other people out there that are going through the same things as them, that are running into the same roadblocks, having the same losses, the same wins, the same opportunities, the same loss of opportunities. Like,
absolutely.
And LinkedIn is really what you make it, right? One thing that I've started being big on recently is curating your experience. I unfollowed recently about 500-600 people, and my feed has never looked better. Like because there's a lot of people that I had no reason to be connected to anymore, especially since my industry changed from doing live events to now producing video content. There's a lot of connections that I didn't need and weren't beneficial to me. So I did that. And now it's like I'm seeing more of the content that I want to see. So now I want to be scrolling through the feed. I want to be interacting with people's content. And I'm having a better overall experience when I hop on LinkedIn.
Yeah, so definitely. We was talking about this actually last week, man. Like, the party's about to be over. Right now is about, I feel like it feels like 100 people on my feed. We all know each other. We're dancing in the middle of the party, and I feel like everybody else is holding up the wall. But as you turn to the left, people are starting to slide up to the dance floor. You know what I mean? They're starting to get their two-step on. They're like, because all these talks that people like me and you are telling and giving the game for free, they're starting to implement it. They're like, yo, if this dude can do it, man, I know I can do it. If I put my own flavor, my own sauce into it, man. And I'm starting to see some great content, man. It's making me want to, I got to step my game all the way up.
Yeah, but even though there are more people coming, and that's another thing. A lot of people have been complaining that the reach is down on the platform. Like, oh, my stuff isn't getting the views it used to get. It's not doing the numbers that it used to get. The simple logic of that is like we've been talking about since the pandemic. There are more people on social media than ever. That includes LinkedIn. Yeah. Before, it was super easy to get super gigantic reach on everything, including videos, because LinkedIn's population, only about 1% of people are producing content on a weekly basis.
Exactly.
And that's just text posts. That's not talking about pictures. That's not talking about videos. It's just text posts. And the population has swelled during COVID to about 700 or 800 million people. So even though it's still only about 1 or 2% producing content, that 1 or 2% is bigger.
Absolutely.
So there's less attention to go around. There's still a great opportunity, but it's less attention to go around because more people are trying to produce content and get this thing moving.
And actually, it's better for us if the reach goes down because, man, you could put out some BS and it got 5, 6, 7,000 views. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't gauge or what, you know what I mean? Is it really good? Is it not? It's just because nobody's posting today. Cool. Now it's to the point like you can tell when something pops. You know when it's going. You're like, oh, okay, I see that. All right.
Yeah, and I think the engagement is better. I really do.
Absolutely.
And I know we're coming towards the end of this thing, so I don't want to keep you longer because we both like to talk. But, just to let people know, a lot of people wonder if video is worth doing on LinkedIn. Yes, it is, and people say, but the numbers are so much lower. The reason for that is it takes more to get a view registered on the platform for video. Yeah. So with a text post, picture post, all that's got to happen is show up in somebody's feed and they scroll past it. For a video view to count, somebody has to watch the video for at least 3 seconds, which on social media is a long time.
Yeah.
So you might be getting the same number of impressions as you do with your text posts, but it's not going to reflect because if somebody don't let it roll for that 3 seconds, it's not going to count.
Impact is one. Yep. And then I know we're coming up, man. So what the actually, man, if you want to share before we get off, man, what's one crazy story or one, who is some of your favorite influencers and who was one person that you connected with? You was like, damn, I can't believe I have, man.
Shoot, man. It's so all the people that I'm rocking with right now that got like big followings and stuff. I never would have thought that I'd be able to connect with them like this. And I mean, some people to me, they got big followings like Rich Cardona, who's another video dude, Leah, who he was talking about before. This dude, Liam, Andy Foote, all these people who are spread out all across the map who otherwise I have no connection to if it wasn't for this platform. Great conversations, like genuine love for the platform, all these things. And, if I never dove into this opportunity, which is what LinkedIn is, it's an opportunity, none of that would ever happen.
Absolutely, man. I totally agree with you, man. So if anybody watching, get in the game. Doesn't matter what platform you're in, because I can tell you for myself personally, LinkedIn has changed my career. I've connected with more people this year than I have in my entire career. And I can't wait for the world to open up. I can't wait for that first conference. I'm walking in like the Mac. I can't wait. You know what I mean? I can't wait. Like, hey, what up, baby? But we're going to do it, man. Like, so please make sure you get out there. The opportunities are endless. The people you can connect with, the information, like LinkedIn, people just give up free information. Nobody has an ego. I know guys with million plus followers that'll hit you up immediately like, hey Jay, what's up, happy to help, man. So get yourself out there, make those genuine connections. And Alex, my brother, I just want to say thank you for stopping by, man, taking time out your day to share the tips, man. I really appreciate it. Put your social handles, where we can find you, man, where we can support you.
Yeah, so if most people want to find me, look me up on LinkedIn. I'm pretty sure that I'm either the only Alex Miner or the first one that'll show up because of how active I am. And then if you want to find me on Clubhouse, you can find me on Clubhouse. My handle on there is LinkedIn Video.
There it goes, my brother. Thank you so much for joining, man. It's been a pleasure. I truly enjoyed this, man. I know me and you're going to work on some content in the future. Everybody for watching, thank you for the support. We're on episode 30. All the likes, the comments, the shares, we really appreciate it. And it means a lot to us. We put a lot of work into this. So thank you all. We'll see you guys next week. Alex, much love, my brother.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Take it easy, guys, and see you. Bye-bye.